At the beginning of my time at d.velop, I dedicated myself to the internal contract management together with my beloved colleague Britta. And to be honest, a lot of paperwork, a lot of time and a lot of nerves were lost due to the manual process we had during that time. And to be honest, one more time, broken ears and coffee stains were our biggest fears during that time. And I definitely know that everybody who's here today knows this struggle as well. And therefore, hi, my name is Claudia, and in the next 30 minutes, I will show you how you easily can digitalize your internal contract lifecycle management. So let's start with our agenda for today. Firstly, let's talk about the main challenges organizations face when managing their contracts without a digital contract lifecycle management. And afterwards, I would like to focus on the ones who are affected by this process. And by who, I mean by which department is affected the most at that time and during that process. And afterwards, I would like to tell you something about what we as d.velop understand under a digital contract lifecycle management and our approach behind that solution. And then we just jump right into our demo environment, and you will have a quick and short live demonstration of how the solution works. And all in all, in a little summary, you get from my side the benefits of a digital contract lifecycle management, so you know what is the best thing to have when a digital contract lifecycle management is implemented at your company. Yeah, firstly, the main challenges is organizations face, or the impact organizations face when managing their contracts without a digital contract lifecycle management. And first of all, the World Commerce and Contracting Association, they did a research and they tried to put a number on that figure. And this research says that round about 9% of the annual turnover is lost due to poor contract lifecycle management. And to my mind, it is a huge, huge sum. But not also the financial aspect is involved in this process, but also the aspect of time and effort. And because of that, there's also the time and effort aspect. And another company, they did a research, the IACCM, they did a research and analyzed more than 700 companies from North America and Europe. And this search says that at least 5 departments are involved in this process, in this contract lifecycle management process. And they all in all need round about 40.5 hours within this process. And that leads to costs by round about $6,900 US. And yeah, this tidy sum of money, which nevertheless does not represent a satisfactory process to my mind, leads to lost contracts, a lack of overview, missed deadlines, and media breaks, and definitely in very slow process. And unfortunately, that is the business, the daily business of everyone, of many organizations at least. And who is affected by this lack of digitalization? As a small example, I had a closer look at 4 departments who are, to my mind, literally affected by this process. And the first one is the purchasing one. Yeah, if purchasing contracts are processed decentrally, it might be that there are several contracts who will be missed, or that they have several contracts with different suppliers, so that they miss to make use of existing frameworks, or that they miss to make use of associated conditions. So that's why the purchasing department is definitely one of the most effective departments in organizations. From a sales perspective, we all know account executives. They travel a lot. They're at the airport gate, they're on the train, so that means that they need their contracts available at any time from everywhere. Doesn't matter where they are. So a cloud solution is definitely needed in this time. And so that they are good, that they are well prepared for the next negotiation, to know what conditions are guaranteed within the start of their business relationship with their customers. So that is definitely apart from the sales executive. Going further with the finance aspect, we all know that the finance women and men, they love doing reports, and that's why the finance department is definitely involved in this process. That means they love to have a look at the figures and facts so they are able to plan the next business year or have a closer look at the past business year. So you definitely should focus on the finance department as well. Looking at the requirements from the IT department, one can say that there are 3 main points. The first one is the compliance one. That means that what the IT want to make sure is that the document, especially the contracts, are kept safely during the whole retention period of time. And in terms of operation of the solutions, it is also a bonus that the IT department can make use of their existing expertise of their current IT landscape. In this case, this is Microsoft 365 we are involving in. And the last one is definitely quite sure. The IT is also an end user. They have their own contracts with their vendors, so they're on the aspect from an end user involved as well. As I said earlier, it can be challenging to combine all these requirements from the different departments, and without a digital contract lifecycle management, to my mind, it is quite hard to do that. And we as d.velop would like to deal with that issue, so with that requirement. So we are involving the well-known functionalities from Microsoft 365 to involve our contract lifecycle management into this solution. Yeah, our understanding is that you can do this requirements within our contract lifecycle management, as I already said before. And in this case, I'd like to point out 2 use cases for you. The first one is, just imagine you're working simultaneously on a draft with your colleague, and you want to make sure that you're not overwriting the other one, and that's why we make use of the Microsoft 365 solutions there as well. The second one is making use of automatically set up deadlines and tasks to make sure that the deadlines, that missed deadlines and missed tasks are definitely a challenge of the past. But I think that's enough from the slides, and just jump right into the live demo, and let's have a closer look at our solution right now. We're starting here with our main page. There you get a quick overview over your last modified contracts, your upcoming deadlines, and of course your incomplete contracts and your task. There it is, and then you have the incomplete ones. When I'm hovering over one of these contracts, I get a quick first overview about the key details of each contract, so I can, for example, see in which status the contract is, or the contractual starter date, or the contractual partner. There you can get all needed information at one point. Right above this overview, you have the possibility to search via quick search function throughout your whole entire contract management. For example, if you know the specific contract type ID, you can just type it in here, and then you go and you get your results as soon as possible and as quick as possible. But what I do prefer, to be honest, is making use of the advanced search. Of course, you also have the possibility to create a new contract here directly out of your application, and we will see both functionalities in the following minutes in detail. At the top right, you are able to make use of search templates in order to avoid looking for contracts over and over again. That means if I need to look for contracts or search for contracts on a regular basis, I can just create a template and make use of it instead of doing my research manually over and over and over again. At the bottom right, you have a little reporting dashboard where you can see, okay, I have 113 valid contracts. And this gives you the possibility to have a better look what's going on in your contract world. You can also select different types of contracts. For example, I would like to see everything which is related to supplier contracts, and the status will change. And you see now there are 71 supplier contracts left which are valid. But now let's start with the advanced search. I talked about this before, and now let's make a short example. First, I would like to select the contract type. That means I would like to see all supplier contracts which are available for me, and just hit the search button. And now you see, okay, there are 112 contracts left, and to my mind, this is way too much information to have a good overview. So therefore, I'm adding another field to see everything that is related to my contractual partner. In this case, I chose Western Limited and now hit the search button one more time. And now there are only 71 contracts left. To be honest, maybe I'm a bit lazy, but to my mind, this is way too much data for me. So I'd like to lead that down even further and am looking for the contracts that are valid. And for my mind, that looks very good. I'm totally satisfied with that, with the 49 contracts left. So now I'm well prepared for any scenario. Doesn't matter if someone is asking me to provide an overview about all our valid contracts for this contractual partner in particular, or if you just want to prepare yourself for a specific meeting. If you're not happy with this search yet, you are able to select or to delete columns manually to create the perfect result for your daily business. But for me, it is okay, and in this case, I'm happy with my results, and that's why I will save this template as a search template, and there you go. Our template get a title. We'll get a title. We have the valid contracts for Western Limited, and hit the save button, and then there you go. Our template has been successfully created. Coming back to the main page, you see we have a new search template right above. And just for demonstration, let's have a look at it, if this is working, and of course it does. And there we have the contracts still for Western Limited. All of them are valid, and to my mind, this is a really good time saver when you're looking for some information on a regular basis. So far, so good, but in some events there is an Excel sheet needed, and you can also export your results to an Excel sheet, and now you are able to create easy reportings or just share this document internally. Whatever you like, there is nothing that is not possible at this point of process. Coming back to the small reporting dashboard at the main page, looks good, but for me are not enough information in it. So now let's switch to Power BI. Power BI is also a very popular solution from Microsoft. And here you have the possibility to use your reporting page filled with our data we just put in our d.velop Contract Lifecycle Management. You can make use of the reporting dashboards, and there you see this is a more detailed one. Especially, I have some quite nice looking diagrams, and moreover, you can make use of the overview about which contractual partners I have, and I can see the contracts that will expire soon or contracts which are still in approval process. If you would like to have a look on the document, plus the master data, or even work on the document, you are able to do that by hitting the button, and you get direct access to our d.velop Contract Management, and you are able to do your daily work and research directly out of your comfort zone. Just imagine, I don't like working with Microsoft SharePoint, for instance. You might ask yourself if it's possible to do this right out of Microsoft Teams, and yes, of course it is. Here you go. We have the same contract lifecycle management. I have the same visibility also in Microsoft Teams, so I don't need to leave my favorite working environment. I can just easily stay within the complete organization. To demonstrate you this case, we here see the visibility and all functionalities we just saw in Microsoft SharePoint. You see them here as well. And now to demonstrate you one more issue is that you easily are able to work out of Microsoft Teams. Let's create a new contract directly out of your most favorite application this time. There we have a very easy navigation, and firstly, I will add a prepared contract via drag and drop, and then my data is going to be saved, and we should see the document in a few seconds. There you go. You can have a look at your document if everything is fine with that. And within my demo scenario, it is. So now I'm going to add the required master data. So in this scenario, this is a new supplier contract, and I choose the status draft because I'm not finished it with yet. So far, the subject for this contract is supplier agreement, and with my contractual partner called Western Limited. In case you would like to add further contract partners, you can just add them by creating a new field. That is definitely no big deal. By adding this, at this time, it is needed to define the responsible person for the organizational assignment of the new supplier contract. That means this time I choose the management and adding Austin Fraser as the responsible one. By adding here some notes, for example, better condition for next year, everybody is aware of some of the key details of this contract. And it says that we agreed on better conditions, such as better delivery times, for instance, 10 days, and we receive a discount of 1.5%, which is better than before. And also the payment terms have been improved to 30 days. On the next page, I am able to select the duration date for my contract to make it easy. Therefore, I choose January 2022, and the duration will be 2 years with another extension of 1 year. What I am a big fan of is that you are able to receive a notification by the end of the contract. That means the system is able to automatically remind me that the contract is going to be expired or even to extend, and I would like to have this reminder 3 months in advance by the end of the contract. Concerning the notification, you are able to choose between all possibilities. I choose the single one instead of the daily or weekly one, and this should remind me in February 2023. To just enable myself to be well prepared for the next negotiation. By hitting the Save button, all of my data and information is going to be saved within our d.velop contract management, and from now on, you are able to work with your new contract right off our contract management within Microsoft 365. There you see the master data I have edited recently, and yeah, now off to one of my favorite functionalities. I am totally in love with the integrated use of the well-known Microsoft technology, which enables you to work on contracts without leaving your direct working environment. Let's imagine you are not quite happy with the contract, and now you are able to edit it or to ask another colleague, and when you are not quite sure if the associated conditions are right. My colleague can now check in on this contract as well and is able to work on the same document simultaneously. Microsoft is therefore going to make sure that the version will change to the latest one, but I think you all know this kind of feature and you're very familiar with that already. Saving my adaptions and my contract is directly ready to be approved. Let's save them and say, okay, it's okay for me. And now we can switch to the approval process. Everything that should be done by the management in this case is to approve this kind of contract. They can have a look over the edit master data, the contract, and change the status from draft to approved. And due to our previous assignment that the management is responsible for this task, the workflow will start immediately after we just finished our work here in our sheet. To show you how the approval process looks like, we will switch to another inbox after saving this document. So now I'm no longer Austin Fraser. I know this sounds a little bit weird, but now I am Judith. And switching to Judith's inbox, we can see that she received an approval request of Austin. Let's wait a minute. It takes some time to get this email. And then we are switching right into the inbox. There it is. There is this email I received from Austin, the approval request. And by hitting the link in this email, I will be guided automatically to the document and can see the master data, all notifications, and of course the document as well. For me, it looks good. We have better condition for us. And now let's make a final check on the document. But I definitely do trust Austin. So now I will approve this contract and say that's okay for me. Good job, Austin. And a small notification for my colleague, and we can submit it. And then the contract status has been changed, and that's it by now. Just in case you don't know, in this step you can also combine it with a digital signature in order to really digitalize your complete business process. And small hint, our solution can cover that as well. Last but not least, Austin received a notification that Judith approved the contract, and that's it. And that's the whole approval process by now. And that's everything I would like to show you today. There's the valid status. We have the full document, the full contract valid in our Contract Lifecycle Management, and now happy managing your contracts internally. Hopefully you got a good overview of this, of our solution of the Contract Lifecycle Management, and therefore I would like to summarize some of the main benefits you will achieve when digitalizing your Contract Lifecycle Management internally. All in all, there are various benefits, as I said before, and you will experience when managing your contracts digitally many benefits. So I'd like to point out the 4 main benefits one more time. The first one is that we have complete visibility. That means all your contracts are managed at one point of view, from one point of view, and you are able to look after every contract from one side. The second one is to ensure your compliance. We guarantee a transparent archiving of your contracts during the whole retired retention period. The next one is the increasing efficiency, because your employees can concentrate on their daily business and more easily to let your organization grow. And the last one is reducing your costs. I think I do not have to add any more facts and figures else than the one that I mentioned before. We have the loss of 9% annual turnover. We have 40.5 hours that are needed to create a legally effective contract. We have 5 departments at least that are involved in this process, and we have $6,900 that is the amount of money that is needed to create a legally effective contract. And that's it from my side. Hopefully you got a good insight in our solution, and hopefully to see you soon next year at the d.velop Forum 2022 in person. Thank you.